Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, 2 killed in Barbican Road gun attack, 1 person injured. The number of people killed in Thursday's gun attack along Barbican Road, St. Andrew, has increased to 2. A woman who was taken to hospital in critical condition succumbed to her injuries. 3 persons were shot in the attack that took place shortly before 1 p.m. A man died at the scene at the entrance to the area known as Andrew's Pen. The names of the deceased persons have not been ascertained. Another man was rushed to hospital and remains in stable condition. Reports are that armed men approached the group and opened fire, hitting 3 people. The St. Andrew North Criminal Investigations Branch is probing the incident. Curfew imposed in sections of Grand Spence, St. Andrew. A 48-hour curfew has been imposed in a section of Grand Spence, St. Andrew. The curfew began at 6 p.m. on Thursday and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. Saturday, December 7. The curfew follows reports of a shooting Thursday afternoon, which left at least 2 persons dead and 1 injured. The boundaries of the curfew are north from the intersection of Grand Spence Road and the Barbican Road to the intersection of Essex Avenue and the Barbican Road, Kingston 8, about 500 meters. East from the intersection of Essex Avenue and the Barbican Road to Lot 13 Essex Avenue, Kingston 8, St. Andrew, about 135 meters. South from Lot 13 Essex Avenue along Essex Avenue with an imaginary line 5A East Dulwich Drive, Kingston 8, St. Andrew, about 450 meters. West from 5A East Dulwich Drive to the intersection of Grand Pen Road and the Barbican Road, Kingston 8, about 180 meters. The police said that during the hours of the curfew, individuals within its boundaries are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized by the ground commander. Man charged in gunslaying of father in West Kingston home invasion. Ongoing investigations by the Kingston Western Police have resulted in the charging of a man following last December's killing of a father and the injury of the now deceased 2 young children. Detectives from the division have charged 34-year-old Alan Brown, otherwise called Lando, from Golden Heights in Kingston 14 in connection with the tragic incident. Brown is charged with murder, 2 counts of wounding with possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and using a firearm to commit a felony. He was charged for an incident on December 6, 2023, in which the now deceased 55-year-old Mark Mackenzie was shot dead at his home on Upper Oxford Street in Kingston 14. Mackenzie's 2 sons, ages 8 and 4 years, both students, were shot and injured during the gun attack. Reports indicated that around 3 a.m., the father was at home with his 2 sons when several men armed with guns unlocked the door to their 1-bedroom apartment and opened gunfire. The father was hit in the head and upper body, while the children received gunshot wounds to their legs. Police assisted all 3 to the Kingston Public Hospital, where the father was pronounced dead. The boys were treated and later transported to Bustamante Hospital for Children. Following continuous investigations, the accused was held last month and charged after he was positively identified during an identification parade. 21-year-old is sentenced to life in prison for illegal gun and ammo. A 21-year-old man was sentenced to prison for life after he was found guilty in the gun court on Thursday. Tavari Faley, otherwise called Tav, from 4th Street in Kingston, appeared before the court on charges of unauthorized possession of a prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition. High Court Judge Justice Callis Wilshire sentenced Faley to 15 years imprisonment on the firearm charge. He should serve 10 years before he is eligible for parole. On the ammunition charge, Faley was sentenced to life in prison and must serve 15 years before he is eligible for parole. The judge ordered that the sentences were to run concurrently. The charges stemmed from an incident which occurred on Wednesday, September 13, 2023 at the intersection of 1st Street and West Road in Kingston. Allegations before the court were that around 4:50 p.m., police were on mobile patrol when the accused was stopped and searched. During the search, it was reported that a black firearm was retrieved from the waistband of the accused. He was taken into custody, and following further investigations, he was subsequently charged. Progress being made in murder case of St. James Most Wanted, says judge. Following delays in receiving files for murder case involving a man who was featured on the police Most Wanted list, Presiding Judge Natisha Fairclough Hilton said that progress is being made. When I spoke on the last occasion, the police officers have done some work since then. So now we have 2 post-mortem reports ready, Fairclough Hilton told the accused, 30-year-old Joseph Mackenzie, otherwise called Gio, when he made an appearance in the St. James Parish Court on Wednesday. When Mackenzie, who is from a 2nd Avenue flanker address in St. James, made an appearance in court on November 25, Fairclough Hilton registered her disappointment as she blasted the police for their apparent lack of urgency in completing the case files. Her comments followed the revelation that several documents relating to Mackenzie's charges, including 2 murder cases, remained outstanding. These cases include the April 6, 2023 murder of 21-year-old laborer Darian Bowman and the April 27, 2024 murder of 28-year-old shopkeeper Randy McNeil. Mackenzie, who has been in custody since August 28, currently has other cases against him before the Parish Court and the Western Regional Gun Court. On Wednesday, Judge Fairclough Hilton asked Mackenzie if he had settled on a lawyer. However, Mackenzie, in a subtle voice, said he was not given the opportunity to make a phone call. I see, but the police officers will assist you. They are going to give you a call now, assured Judge Fairclough Hilton. Judge Fairclough Hilton later set a January 8, 2025 date for Mackenzie to return to court for the 3 matters, one of which a full disclosure is to be made by December 18. You are to be taken back to court on January 8, 2025, Mr. Mackenzie, as there has been some progress, stated Judge Fairclough Hilton. Mackenzie, who was prominently featured on the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Wanted Wednesday's platform as St. James's Most Wanted Man, was captured on the Harvey Beach in Coral Gardens, St. James on August 25. He was subsequently charged in September with McNeil's murder after he underwent a question and answer session in the presence of his lawyer. He was also charged with using a firearm to commit a felony and the possession of a prohibited weapon. St. Ann Barbara accused of abducting and raping woman. A St. Ann Barbara was arrested and charged after he allegedly abducted and raped a woman between November 6 and November 7. 49-year-old Willis James of Enfield, St. Ann, is charged with rape, abduction, grievous sexual assault, and robbery with aggravation. Reports indicate that about 8 a.m. on November 6, a woman was walking along the main road in Mount Olivet when James, who was driving a Toyota Fielder motor car, brandished a knife and told her to enter the vehicle. It is alleged that James took the woman's phone before driving onto a lonely road where he proceeded to assault her. On Thursday, November 7, James reportedly released the woman in Brownstown. A report was subsequently made to the police and an investigation was launched. James was later arrested during the operation in Brownstown and charged. His court date is being finalized. Foreign Ministry responds to reports Jamaican travelers to some countries facing immigration issues. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs says it is actively working to address reports of immigration challenges being faced by Jamaican travelers in Mexico and other Central American countries. In a statement Wednesday evening, Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith expressed a concern about the reports and said the relevant authorities are being engaged to resolve the issues. Mrs. Johnson-Smith said the government respects the right of all countries to determine who enters their borders, as it does Jamaica, but it stands ready to protect against the infringement of citizens' rights. At the same time, Mrs. Johnson-Smith reminded Jamaicans that last year, the ministry had advised that Central American countries were taking a more restrictive approach to reduce the misuse of their borders to enter the U.S. illegally.
The government therefore then strongly urged Jamaicans not to misuse particular borders for the purpose of illegal immigration and warned that it was quite possible that lawful travelers would start to be negatively impacted. That is, they could ultimately be negatively impacted. While the Jamaican government always stands ready to defend and protect the rights of our citizens overseas, we regret to remind that we cannot insist that any state allow any non-citizen to enter that state. No citizen has a right to enter another country other than their own. So we therefore can only work to prevent the contravention of basic rights, of human rights, particularly in terms of unlawful detention or mistreatment. As part of good travel planning, Jamaicans should assess their destinations on various indicators. They should look at whether it is that there are new immigration practices that cause issues. We understand that the Mexican embassy is sending out a reminder of the requirements to enter their country. It still is visa-free for Jamaicans, and therefore we still have the opportunity to travel there.
Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.